All right, guys. Today we have Trevor Siemian'S first press conference, technically press conference, first interview after joining the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go ahead and listen up to what he has to say. 1 second.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you guys. Yeah.
How's the transition been so far for you?
So far so good. Got in last night. Yeah, so far so good.
What was the process like during the free agency? Obviously, you represent yourself. How did you go through the process, and what led you to here?
Yeah, I think I just wanted to find a good fit, somewhere where I can come in and contribute, and this checked all those boxes.
Your comfort level with Brian Callahan, history with him, how much of a factor was that?
Yeah, it was huge. I think familiarity at this stage in my career is huge. Anywhere I can go somewhere, kind of know what they're trying to coach and get across, I think is pretty important, especially in the quarterback room.
How long were the Bengals kind of on the radar for you throughout the entire process? Was it early on, or was it a pretty late moving thing?
Yeah, pretty relatively early. You know, I got released a week or 5 days in a free agency, so but yeah, pretty early.
You mentioned, the familiarity with Brian Callahan. How much did wanting to play with Joe Burrow factor into that as well?
Huge. I think as a player in this league, you find out you want to be around good players and good teams and good coaches. So,
having played with Peyton Manning and having the experience you've had as a starter, what do you feel like you can kind of teach him and sort of contribute to the quarterback room as a backup?
Yeah, I don't know about teach. I think Dan and Callie and Zach, they can handle that. But I just have some different experiences that maybe some of these guys don't have, and hopefully I can help them out in that way.
How important was experience coming into a room with an established quarterback like Joe Burrow? What is your mindset when you walk into a new locker room?
Yeah, just to be the best teammate I can be. I think it's pretty simple for me. At that, that's kind of how I operate. It's how can I add value? How can I be the best player I can be? And then how can I help guys out as best I can? So, be no different in the quarterback room.
When you visited roughly a month ago, did you think you would sign after the draft potentially? Was it kind of known that you might wait a little bit?
Yeah, I was hopeful something would work out. So I was hoping to work out back then. So glad it did.
Were you wondering if they might draft one? I mean, how much was that on your radar if they went through and went super?
I mean, that's too much to think about for me. I'm not that smart, so I just kind of, knew when it was right and the fit was right, so it made sense to me.
What's the most impressive thing about Burrow from before you got to know him? Like, what's kind of been your overall impression of him?
I just like watching him play. I don't know him really well. It's my first day, but I'm like you guys in that way. I like watching him play. I like seeing good passers of the football. When you turn a game on, I think that's the difference maker.
What do you like most about his game?
Yeah, I think he's one of the few guys that you can hand him the ball and he can win games for you. I think there's a small handful of guys that can do that, and excited to work with him.
What are you looking forward to about the receiver core here?
You guys are on it, man. This is awesome. Probably the most talented. Just being, I'll wait to get to work with them, but the most talented group I've played with or been around. So.
There was a lot of chatter, I think, when you came on the visit about your game that you had against Cincy, I guess a couple years ago. How much did that come up in conversation, or how much did you think about that as you kind of reflected on it?
Not much. I mean, it feels like a long time ago. So there's been a lot that's happened for the Bengals and myself in that time. So I didn't think about it too much.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I'm excited about him. I'm honestly very, very excited about him. Now, obviously, no. He's never going to become the starter, obviously. And no, he's never going to even sniff the NFL field other than preseason. And as long as everything works out correctly, knock on wood, nothing ever happens again with the best quarterback of all times, staying healthy, then he will never be on the field. But I do like him as a locker room guy. And I think that's another really key thing is also, as he said before, as all the experiences he brings to the locker room. I mean, again, sometimes when you bring players in that have been around the league for a very long time, not all of them are great players, people. Let's be honest. Like, for example, you bring AB, you're going to bring into a toxic, crazy locker room. But if you bring in someone like Trevor Siemian, he's a cool, level-headed guy, really good guy. First off, you're bringing in a veteran player who can teach younger players how to be better at the game. And again, obviously he's a quarterback, so you're like, well, how was he going to help a cornerback or a safety? Well, he can teach them not to make reckless decisions, how to orchestrate themselves in certain situations. You know, if they're going to a big game, he can kind of coach players through, hey, listen, this is how you deal with the stress, how you deal with the pressure. Even though he never really made himself an amazing quarterback in the league, doesn't mean he cannot help in many different ways. There's a lot of coaches in the league who were in college, they played football, or they played football in the NFL, but they never simply made it to the higher level, or they never were that successful. And a lot of them are really great coaches. But again, like I said before, you know, they just simply never couldn't do it as a player. It doesn't mean they can't lead. It doesn't mean they can't coach. Even if you're a bad player, it doesn't mean you're not smart when it comes to football knowledge. So a lot of things he can definitely help. He can also help, like, for example, Jake Browning, his backup. You know, develop him a little bit more. Maybe in a couple years, he ends up becoming the backup quarterback for the Bengals. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, you bring in Trevor Siemian on a one-year contract here, and you're really bringing in a veteran leader. So, absolutely love this signing. Again, like I said before, you know, when I first heard of it, I was kind of like skeptical. But then once I learned about his connection with Callahan and how he's been with Callahan for the longest time now, and there is, you know, chemistry there, now I feel a lot more comfortable with this whole endeavor, because now it's like, okay, well, it's not just a, you know, most recent thing happening. This has been a thing for a very long time where he knows Callahan, he knows what he's doing, he knows how to set everything up. So really like that, and I really love the chemistry. I love chemistry in teams. Whenever you can have as much chemistry as possible on a team, the team is always 1000% better. So, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the likes, comment down below. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.